Presidential Special Committee on State Police says the bill will be ready for President Bola Tinubu in the next 1 month. There's been a furore about the credentials of candidates as publicly displayed by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Wakimale for you here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much everyone for staying with us. We shall be dissecting the state police bill as being contemplated to be an executive bill to be transmitted to the National Assembly, which the special committee being set up, which included the chief of staff to the president, the governor of Ogun State, the Attorney General of the Federation, a couple of eggheads who have been sitting on this bill, which will be an executive bill to be transmitted to the president, what it means and why the president is particularly interested in this one. Plus, we'll be hearing views on the credentials as displayed by INEC. Why is it that some people do not have primary school and secondary school certificates as displayed? And why is it that some people only display their primary school? Is that what the law says? What is transparency? We'll be dissecting all of these for you tonight. But first, let's serve you with some of your political write-up stories.
The Forum of State Chairman of the People's Democratic Party is asking former President Goodluck Jonathan to immediately disassociate himself from the Tani Otoraki group, who they say are impersonating the party by sending his credentials to the electoral umpire as the party's presidential candidate, contrary to the authentic list of candidates submitted by the PDP. The forum, backed by the Abdulrahman Mohammed-led National Working Committee, also calls on security agencies to immediately investigate members of the Turaki group, accusing them of misrepresenting court judgment and illegally parading themselves as officials of the PDP. The group further urged the Abdulrahman Mohammed-led National Working Committee to immediately institute a legal process to put an end to what they describe as impersonation and forgery. The Accord Party Osun Governorship Campaign Council is seeking assurance from the Inspector General of Police that personnel of the force will be fair and unbiased during the forthcoming election in the state. The spokesperson of the council, Mr. Belumi Olajegbensi, made the demand in a petition submitted to the National Human Rights Commission in Abuja. Mr. Olajegbensi explains that the recent arrest of party members and the redeployment of the police commissioner back to the state raises concern for the council. Meanwhile, the coalition of civil society and human rights organizations is warning that Nigeria's democracy is facing a critical moment, urging the National Assembly to immediately withdraw pending bills which they say threaten civic space, constitutional freedoms, and democratic governance ahead of the 2027 general elections. The coalition, which includes Yaga, Budget, Sislak, and 68 others, made the call at a joint press conference in Abuja. They are voicing concerns over the civic space bill before the National Assembly, describing the bill as an escalating assault on civic freedoms in Nigeria. Speaking on behalf of the group, the Executive Director of the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, Mr. Awal Rafsanjani, called on lawmakers to ensure that future legislation affecting civil society, media freedom, and digital rights complies with Nigeria's constitution and international human rights obligations. Also, a civil society group under the aegis of Nigeria Citizens Watch for Good Governance has rejected calls for the resignation of the Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPCL, Bayo Julari. His position comes after questions were raised over 7.13 trillion naira listed in NNPCL's 2024 accounts as security spending. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the group says increase in oil production from 900,000 barrels per day in 2022 to over 1.6 million barrels per day in 2026, generating more than $17 billion yearly for Nigeria. It's one of the many resorts of security surveillance, urging President Bola to ignore what he called rent seekers from the old order and ask the National Assembly to conclude its investigation quickly. Renowned Pan-Africanist Professor Patrick Lumumba has condemned the recent xenophobic attacks in South Africa, calling on the South African government to offer a public apology to Africa and the international community while compensating victims who lost their businesses and means of livelihood. Speaking at the sideline of the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit in Asaba, Professor Lumumba described the attacks as a betrayal of the spirit of African unity, urging Africans not to respond with hatred but with compassion and understanding. According to him, responding with love rather than retaliation will help change the mindset of those promoting xenophobia and strengthen the bonds of continental brotherhood.
Thank you so much. There you have it, your political roundup stories. Let's begin tonight our very first conversation about the state police bill and the interests of President Bola Tinubu. Why does he want the state police bill to pass, or why does he want state police at this time? What is his interest? Is it to quench insecurity in Nigeria? Other than that, does he want reforms, or what exactly is the big picture here? So today, what we saw was that the presidency says it has commenced work on the proposed state police legislation that is now set September the 3rd, 2026 as the date for presenting the draft executive bill to President Bola Tinubu. The chairman of the Presidential Committee on the National Policing Bill, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, who is equally the chief of staff to the president, announced that the timeline earlier today after the committee's inaugural meeting at the State House in Abuja. Let me allow you to listen to what he said.
Now, this is a monumental reform that Nigerians have debated over for many years. The question before the country is how we transform our policing architecture to become more responsive to the realities of our communities. Thus, our central task is now to design a lawful, professional, and sustainable federal and state policing system that places greater capability closer to the people while presenting national standards, national security, and the rights of every Nigerian. The constitutional amendment creates the authority, if you like, the permission, and broad architecture for federal and state policing. However, it does not by itself provide the complete operating system. It does not settle the questions on standards, certification, recruitment, training, funding, command, or jurisdiction complaints.
All right, let's get more insight on what this committee is doing, what the bigger picture is there. The secretary of the committee and the senior special assistant to the president on planning and research, Mr. Dubey Mohalu, is live for us here in Abuja studio. Many thanks for joining us, Mr. Mohalu.
Thank you very much for having me on this evening.
Thank you so much.
My name is Nnadubem Mohalu, and I am the secretary of the Presidential Working Group on the National Policing Bill.
Absolutely.
The working group is chaired by His Excellency, the Chief of Staff to the President, the Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, and includes amongst its members the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation, the National Security Advisor, the Governor of Kwara State in his capacity as the Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, the Governor of Ogun State in his capacity as the Chairman of the NGF's Committee on State Police, the Inspector General of Police, the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, and the Special Assistant to the President on Legal Affairs, Mr. Modibo Tomi Belgore, and of course myself. That committee is the committee that has been tasked with the principal responsibility of drafting the National Policing Bill. The National Policing Bill will be the principal framework architecture for the principal framework document, implementation document for state policing in Nigeria. The constitutional amendment that has passed in the National Assembly provides the framework architecture, the bare bones, as it were, and the National Policing Bill will put some flesh on those bones. In addition to the National Policing Bill, there are a number of consequential amendments that must happen across the board across other sections of our legislation for us to be able to have proper implementation of a dual policing architecture in Nigeria. It is the work of the working group, it is the part of the mandate of the working group to produce those consequential amendments. When we have concluded this assignment, we will present it to Mr. President, who will then approve and transmit to the National Assembly.
So the committee has given itself 1 month,
yes,
from which it will now have a draft bill taken to the president for his own verification and onward movement or transmission to the National Assembly. Am I right?
Indeed, yes.
Give us an understanding. What is the dictate, the mandate of this committee? What are the terms of reference? What are you supposed to look into, and what are the don'ts for this committee?
So, the constitutional amendment bill that has passed in the National Assembly,
which the House, by the way, had jettisoned his own and said they will step it aside,
yes,
for in anticipation of President Bola Tinubu's bill.
Well, the House did not step it aside in anticipation. The House stepped it aside after it received the executive transmission.
Mm-hmm.
So that bill has now passed in the Senate and passed in the House of Representatives, and will shortly be on its way to
with
the states.
speed of light, unusual speed.
It has not. It is that is a wrong.
There are a lot of curiosity from Nigerians as to the intent, and are those who are concerned that this needs to be subjected to scrutiny by the Nigerian people. If this bill is going to be for them, and the intent and the agenda of President Bola Tinubu about this, because constitutional amendment has been ongoing for several months now. And the manner in which it went in the National Assembly, where it was passed, raised a lot of curiosity.
So you cannot, on the one hand, say constitutional amendment has been going on for many months now, and in the same breath, say the process has been rushed.
I'm talking about the bill that was sent to the National Assembly by the executive. That was what was passed with the speed of light.
Those two truths cannot coexist at the same time. The constitutional amendment process around state police has been going on for nearly 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
The Joint Committee of the National Assembly has held a number of stakeholder engagements across the country, public hearings in 6 geopolitical zones. The Inspector General of Police, as far back as the former Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, had convened a national stakeholder engagement on this and has produced a report that is in the public domain. So this is a process that has been going on for a while. What the executive bill did was to cohere all the arguments and conversations that have been had around this issue into a coherent document that gives us the foundational architecture of dual policing in Nigeria. That is what the constitutional amendment does. And it has passed in the National Assembly, and it is now will shortly be on its way to the states. Without litigating the past, what we are focused on now is the National Policing Bill, which is the next stage in this process. I've said before that the constitutional amendment provides the foundational architecture. What we are doing now with the National Policing Bill is to build on that foundation and develop an actual implementable framework for state policing in Nigeria.
So, what are the terms of reference
of
your committee?
That is what I have to share with you. The terms of the
I'm
reference
saying,
of the
so
presidential working group.
what I'm asking for are the items of what will include. And did the president tell you, put these in? What are his preferences?
No, so the president has not dictated to us specifics of what will go into the National Policing Bill. What we have now is a desire to build something that will be implementable and will work for all Nigerians. The purpose of this committee, of this working group chaired by the Chief of Staff, is to dig into the question. Now that we have the architecture, now that we have the framework via the Constitution, what needs to happen next for this to be properly implementable.
So tell me, Mr. Nandube.
Yes.
What a lot of Nigerians are going to be interested is in the details. And they say, devil is in the detail.
Yes.
Not in the glassy, fanciful, surface level, decorative description of the bill. And the items that we go into it, where does the state and the powers of the governor lie here? Where is the funding coming from? The sustainability, the management, the separation of powers, federal, state, local policing. What are the most, what is the primary agenda of the working committee? What would you like to focus on? What would you like this bill to look like? What is the agenda? What is the global picture?
All of the issues you have just raised, all of the questions you have asked are going to be answered in the National Policing Bill. This afternoon, when the Chief of Staff was speaking, he announced a national call for submissions and memoranda. And he also announced that the website of the National Policing, of the working group has gone live. It's called the nationalpolicingbill.com. If you go on it now? It's live now, yes. You can go on the nationalpolicingbill.com.
National Policing?
Bill.com.
Okay. My producer will bring it up now, so that Nigerians can see and look at what, okay, I see what it looks like, what the National Policing Bill means, explore all teams, submit memorandum. So this is asking every Nigerian.
So we have opened up a national call for memoranda. If you have an interest in the subject matter, if you think that this is something that matters to you, that matters to Nigeria, and it should be something that you think matters to you, there are very few areas of public policy where governmental action affects the lives of everybody in the country. If you are a Nigerian living in Nigeria today, it doesn't matter whether you are wealthy, it doesn't matter whether you are poor, it doesn't matter whether you are educated or uneducated. At some point in your life, you will interact with the police. When we are doing reforms that affect lives as fundamentally as this one does, it is important for that process to be a consultative, engaging process that brings Nigerians together. That is what we are trying to do with this call for memoranda. We have opened up this process. Excuse me, hold on, Sean.
Yeah.
In addition to the call for memoranda, and in addition to the policy, the presidential working group that already exists, there is a policy advisory committee that has been constituted and approved by Mr. President that includes 26 Nigerians from across the country whose job will be to look through the drafts that come out of this process and to validate the process before it gets to final approval by Mr. President. That committee is going to be chaired by Justice Liman. This is part of our desire of the President's determination to make sure that this is an inclusive process. If you go to the website also, you will find out that we have identified 17 thematic areas that have to be addressed in the National Policing Bill that we are drafting. You asked me about the details, that the devil is in the details. We recognize that the devil is in fact in the details, and the work that of the working group is about finding the right answers to those details. The 17 thematic areas we are going to consider include national minimum policing standards, issues like state readiness, certification, and forms of certification. We are going to deal with federal and state policing architecture and cooperation. Things like jurisdiction. There is when I met with my secretariat over the weekend, we spoke and considered some of these issues. One of the examples that came up was, imagine, for example, that a criminal is being chased from Anambra State, who has committed a crime in Anambra State, and he runs across and he races across the border into Enugu or into Kogi in this dual system. What happens in that moment? Whatever answer you think is the correct answer in this situation, that answer has to be settled as a matter of law. And those are the details that this working group is going to be working on with the support of the Policy Advisory Committee.
I see 17 areas open for Nigerians' input.
Yes.
And part of what you mentioned, constitutional status, powers, national minimum policing standards, state readiness certification and forms of certification, federal and state policing architecture and cooperation, inspection, compliance, police service commission architecture, state police service establishment and the model state law, and a whole number of all of these law, federal and state prison infrastructure, consequential amendment, transition, and commencement. This is a very interesting aspect, and one hope that this will cover the ground, yes, like they say in law. In all of what is captured here, do you have a timeline in terms of when the memorandum will close, when you're sitting on it, when the scrutiny will begin? Because the draft will be ready a month from today. Is that right?
So, we have opened up the call for memoranda effective immediately. The Policy Advisory Committee is going to start meeting from next week to review the materials as they come in. We have a capable and competent secretariat already in place that includes a team of policy researchers, of policy analysts and researchers. We have a drafting team that is led by the Director of Legal Drafting in the Federal Ministry of Justice. All of these are in place, and we will be. This is a serious thing, The government takes this seriously, and all the resources that we require to meet the timeline that we have set for ourselves will be made available, and all the personnel that are there that are required will be there to make sure that we meet the timeline we have set for ourselves.
So this is what the website looks like, the nationalpolicingbill.com. And if you look at if you engage some of the icons there, it says what the National Policing Bill means. So if you go to explore all themes, it shows you the 17 areas, the thematic areas. But again, which are what you can see, theme 1, theme 2, 17 of them, if you scroll down to the very end, gives you an idea of what the bill, what you can actually talk about, the themes that will be acceptable to the committee.
No, that is not it.
Okay.
These are the themes of what will go into the National Policing Bill.
Can anyone go outside of these themes?
Hold on. So these 17 thematic areas cover the scope of issues that will be addressed in the National Policing Bill. If you click on any one of this subject matter and you examine what the scope of this means, right? You think about operational powers, criminal justice. Everything you can think about from the jurisdictional issue that I just described to you is captured here.
Yeah.
Right? So everything that we're going to work on in the working group, everything that's going to go into the National Policing Bill, everything that's going to go into the consequential amendments is captured. So it's not a limitation. This is essentially the scope of work that exists for all of us. You asked about our terms of reference.
This is the term of reference.
Yes.
And I'm happy that this is clear now. And it's not only what you are saying, it's also what Nigerians can access themselves. If you go back to the home page, the landing page, it then tells you how you can navigate your way in submitting a memorandum.
Yes.
Who can submit a memorandum?
Everybody.
State government, state houses of assembly, state ministries of justice, the Nigerian police force. So there is a list of who may submit a memorandum.
Yes. And if you go further down, it says everybody who has valid submission to make on the subject.
You must have a local standard too in this respect. That's what it's saying.
No, your determination of what is valid is up to you.
Okay.
Right? If you believe that your opinion is valid and you are able to go up a little bit and you're able to prepare your memorandum in the format that has been laid out for you, you go ahead and submit it.
So I ask for the timeline.
Yes.
Right. Because a month from today is when the draft should be ready.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So what are the timelines, public engagement?
As of today, we have launched the call for memoranda. The secretariat is operational. The drafting is in place. As memoranda are received, they will be reviewed and considered by a separate policy research and analysis team, and whatever is useful from that will be extracted into the draft. Mind you, there is already a policy advisory committee comprised of capable experts who bring capable people who bring a wide variety of expertise to the matter, including 6 state attorney generals, and that committee is chaired by the retired Justice of the Court of Appeal, Justice Abdullahi Muhammad Liman. That committee is also in place and will be part of this process, reviewing the material as it comes in.
And there's a drafting committee.
And there is a drafting team.
So there's a research team.
There's a research and policy team. There's a drafting team. There's a policy advisory committee.
Team
yes,
also.
exactly. All of it working
Do we have
at the same
police
time.
officers in that team?
Yes.
Do we have people who have American experience?
Yes. If you go on the website and click on the About Us.
On the About Us
section at the top, right there at the top of it.
So scroll down. Scroll down. Let's go. Scroll down.
So first of all, here's the working group that I already spoke about. Go up a little bit,
Go up a bit.
So that everybody can see. So here is the working group that I spoke about. This is the principals committee.
Yeah.
This is the committee that will approve what finally goes to Mr. President for his consideration.
Final draft.
The final draft
will be sat on by these people.
By this committee.
They represent the critical
stakeholder groups within government institutions that have responsibility for policing and national security as far as this is concerned. It is chaired by the Chief of Staff to the President, the Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, and I am Secretary of that committee, and it of course includes the Honorable Attorney General.
What is your own background?
I am a lawyer. I'm a policy advisor.
Okay.
Yes.
So
and
this is also important. Femi is as a former lawmaker and a lawyer equally, the Attorney General, looking at it from a global national perspective, the National Security Advisor from the national, the IG, of course, and the governors looking at it from the state level. But I'm imagining those who will look at it from the local level.
So keep scrolling down.
Scroll down.
Keep scrolling down. Keep going down.
Go, man. Okay.
So here you have the Policy Advisory Committee. Its membership draws from the judiciary, academia, police, and security agencies.
Okay.
And of course includes states' perspective brought in by the state's attorney generals.
Yeah.
This committee is chaired by Justice Mohammed Abdullahi Liman,
the
retired Justice of the Court of Appeal.
I know Wale Fakunda.
Wale Fakunda, of course, the former Attorney General.
I know Professor
Olukemi, the foremost historian on policing in Nigeria. Please scroll through.
Yeah.
You have Mohammed Mekudi, Dr. Charles Omole, Dr. Ndubisi.
I know Charles Omole.
Yes.
These are experts in
you
the
asked
field.
Dr. DIG Babatunde Ogunyanwo.
I know Ogunyanwo very well.
Going.
I mean, I think that's enough. If any Nigerian want to have an idea, they can go.
Everything you need to know about what we're doing is on this website.
This is one of the things that your government is getting get right, because we need to close the segment. And I hope that you are truthful to the Nigerian people. We are not just being deceived and this is not a flash in the pan. I hope that Nigerians will have a great deal of benefit at the end of the day. The ultimate agenda, which I imagine should be the president's agenda, is keeping Nigeria safe.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Nandu Beim Mohalu, who is the Senior Special Assistant to President Bola Tinubu on Planning and Research, and who is also the Secretary on the Special Working Committee on the State Policing Bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. It's been nice having you.
We'll take a break, everyone. But when we come back, why did President Bola Tinubu refuse to submit his primary and secondary school certificate? It was only Chicago State University certificate, plus other candidates also. Their credential is getting a lot of people talking. And that gets our attention tonight. After this break. Join us again, everyone. Thanks so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. The release of the educational background and the credentials submitted by some of those who want to be president in 2027 in the presidential election race has now raised yet again some transparency, constitutional eligibility, and public accountability issues, which is now become at the center of political discourse in the country. The publication by INEC we saw on Saturday's renewed attention on specifically on President Bola Tinubu, his nomination document, which lists his Bachelor of Science degree from Chicago State University, but left out the primary and secondary school sections blank reviving the issues that featured prominently in the 2023 post-election litigation. While the courts have previously upheld President Tinubu's election, and legal defenders argue that a university degree satisfies the constitutional educational requirement, critics insist that complete educational disclosure enhances public confidence in the electoral process. So INEC, for his own part, has maintained his own duty and responsibility to publish documents submitted by candidates for public scrutiny and not to verify the authenticity of the credentials. So, does the controversy raise fresh legal question, or is it primarily a debate about transparency, political accountability, and electoral reforms ahead of the 2027 elections? Let's get started on this one. I'm being joined by what will make some kind of representation of the interest in some, not entirely 100%, but at least we get a sense of some level of representation. Of course, we're expecting the NDC representation. Alwan Hassan is a member of the APC. Thanks so much, Mr. Hassan, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Kalu is a member of the ADC and a lawyer. Am I right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yeah. It does look like ADC has a loud voice in this one because Atiku Abubakar's credential seems to be less of a controversy, isn't it?
Well, Atiku Abubakar doesn't have any issue in this respect because he was the one that approached the courts in the United States to ask for the academic record of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Chicago State University. And from the proceedings of the U.S. court, the court directed Chicago State University to release Tinubu's academic records to Tinubu. And when the academic records were released to Atiku Abubakar, we found shocking revelations from those documents. One, Bola Ahmed Tinubu committed first entry to Chicago State University that he attended Government College, Lagos, and graduated in 1970. When we now did a search, we found out that Government College, which Bola Ahmed Tinubu claimed he attended, was indeed established in 1974, 4 years later than when Tinubu said he graduated from that school. Second, from the document released to Atiku Abubakar from the Chicago State University, Tinubu submitted a document from Cambridge University, or this a GCE certificate from Cambridge University, which was also found to be false. So everything about Ahmed Tinubu's certificate is shrouded in forgery. Now, you know Ahmed Tinubu contested election in 1999. He deposed on oath that he attended one primary school, St. Paul's Primary School in Ibadan. He also deposed on affidavit that he attended Government College, Ibadan. Today, what do we have in Tinubu's record? There is no information as to his primary school and his secondary school.
The Supreme Court has ruled on this matter.
Not at all. Not at all.
Supreme Court ruled in 2023 and said that it fell out of the legal time limit.
It was purely on preliminary issues.
So you are saying that the meat of the matter, the rest
of this matter
has not been settled.
Has not been settled
so
by any court in Nigeria.
Is it possible that Atiku Abubakar is raising this as a legal issue again?
No, the issue.
What will I imagine that this is settled in law?
No, it's not. The Supreme Court didn't touch on the merits of Tinubu's academic scandal. It didn't. Now, let's look at what the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria provides. In section 137(1)(j), it says, no person shall be qualified for election for office of president if that person has presented a forged certificate to Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Then the question is, has Tinubu in any way presented forged certificates to INEC? And the answer is yes. And if the answer is yes, the Constitution is supreme by section 1.
There is no which court? Just a moment, so that we don't. Just a moment, sir. The court. Let's look
your own
at,
opinion
let's
is
look
now
at the facts.
is now a court
What
verdict.
did the court say in the U.S.? Because the affidavit, the request to the U.S. court and to the school, the Chicago State University, are the facts before Nigerians and before the court. What did the court say with respect to the inquisition of Atiku Abubakar prior to the 2023 election? What were the submissions of the court in the United States?
The United States gave direction, ordered Chicago State University, because what Atiku Abubakar went for was for discovery of the academic records of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the U.S. court directed Chicago State University to release those academic records of Tinubu.
The court in the U.S. did not say whether Tinubu forged it. The court in the U.S. talked about gradation and validity of, and could not even weigh in on whether the competence issue or forgery issue. So that those were not determined.
No. Allow my flow.
No, just a moment, because
Okay.
I will allow Mr. Alwan
Allow my
who
flow.
is here to come and defend his principle.
Allow my flow. Allow
Okay.
my flow.
What are the issues as of today?
The
that you are raising?
issues as of today, because you raised the issue of we raised the issue of what transpired at the proceedings at the U.S. court. The Atiku Abubakar went for discoveries of the academic records of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the U.S. court directed by an order Chicago State University to release those academic records of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And when it was released, it was found out that Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a very dangerous first entry, that he attended Government College, Lagos, and graduated in 1970, when indeed Government College, Lagos was not even in existence in 1970. It was established in 1974. That's one. Then two, one of the documents released was that Tinubu submitted University of Cambridge GCE certificate to Chicago State University, which was also found to be false. Now we are now saying the only information supplied by Ahmed Tinubu to INEC was the Chicago State University certificate. The same certificate the school denied issuing to him in the 2023 proceedings. Now on two fronts. One is that even the admission requirement for Chicago State University, Tinubu submitted forged entries, forged documents before he even gained that admission.
So you're saying invariably that President Tinubu is not fit to run in this election?
Not at all. Tinubu is not qualified to run this election. It's section 1, sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says that this Constitution is supreme and its provision binding on all authorities.
Can this matter be re-litigated?
No,
if it's not settled?
The challenge is that the Supreme Court's decision on issue of pre-election matter says that it is only an aspirant that can challenge
another aspirant in the race.
And now that is Tinubu has emerged, and nobody from the APC is challenging. But the issue now is, that is on section 29 of the Electoral Act. But the issue is the Electoral Act superior to the Constitution? The answer is no. If the Constitution says that by section 1371J that you are not qualified to run election if you have presented a false certificate to INEC, the question is, what is the provision of the Constitution in respect of section 11 of the United States Constitution, which says that the Constitution is supreme and its provision is binding on all authorities and persons, including Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is the president of this country, that swore to an oath that he will uphold the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that says if you have presented a false certificate, you are not qualified to run. And he has submitted false certificate. Why is he not stating the information he supplied to INEC in 1990 and 2003, where he on oath deposed that he attended one St. Paul's primary school that does not exist. That one, he said,
go ahead.
That he attended government college Ibadan. These are information in INEC, information that is clear to everybody. Till today, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, one thing is very simple on this issue. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, come and tell Nigerians which primary school did you attend, which secondary school did you attend. Even in 2022, the INEC document is submitted. He even claimed he even had an NYSC certificate, and his name on that NYSC certificate is Bola Adekunle Tinubu. So where did he get Adekunle from? Because he claimed that he graduated from...
What do you suspect? What's your submission tonight?
All forgery. All forgery.
Suspect. Let me allow you.
All forgery.
Just a moment, sir. Mr. Hawan, how do you defend your principal?
So
on one hand, he's saying that the president is not fit to run again in 2027.
So, but it's funny.
The president
It's funny that they are speaking without evidence, because he cannot present to us where Chicago University says this university certificate that the president has submitted to INEC is forgery. He can't. There is nowhere that the school has said it's forgery. One. Secondly, what the Constitution says is a school cert
minimum
or an equivalent. An equivalent of school cert is an ability to read and write. If you go to National Assembly, a lot of our members present secondary school cert. In fact, let me tell you, Shehu, one of the richest men before, one person that was the richest man before in this world was a dropout from Harvard, Bill Gates. He's still one of our best when it comes to business in the world. It is not about education. These guys don't have anything to hold this man. He has delivered, he has done a lot in his first 4 years that no government in the past can match it. Let's say he has not even gone to the school.
Let's talk about
Does it matter?
Let's stay on the matter.
Let's say he has not even gone to the university. Tell me, hold on, let me die. Tell me what Jonathan's PhD has done to Nigeria. Tell me how Obi's BSc has helped improve his communication skills. Tell me what it has done to Atiku to help him navigate and concede I know the time to contest, I know the time to concede for the best person of the time. These guys are greedy guys. They don't have anything. They don't have any substance to hold this man. We are 3 to 4 years in government, and Asiwaju has done a lot. Let's talk about policies, my brother. Let's talk about what this man has done in his last 4 years.
Let's talk about merit. Does the president deserve to be on the ballot? That's the fundamental issue here. That he has all of these abilities, but can he prove? Because what are the question mark? The question mark on his identity, question marks on qualification.
What identity are you talking about, Sheun? If he's asking of identity, can you tell us who Atiku's father is? Do you know Atiku's uncle? Have you ever seen Atiku's brother? Do we ask those questions? What is he talking about?
What's wrong with Atiku's uncle?
You should ask him. Does he know Atiku's father?
Ask me.
Do you know his uncle?
Let me answer.
Who
is his father? Where is his father?
Shehu, why we are here?
Yes.
Why we are here is because we run a constitutional democracy where the law guides all our activities. The Constitution, which is supreme in this country.
You're saying he has added Adekunle. You're saying he has added Adekunle now, and you're saying because you don't believe in him as a person.
Please allow me to answer the question. Yeah. We are saying the Constitution says you must have at least school start.
Or equivalent.
Yes.
What is its equivalent?
I'm coming. I will answer you.
Yes.
I will answer you.
With an evidence that...
Yes. Then the Constitution says...
Is it not enough evidence?
Please allow me.
Is it not enough evidence? Hold on, Mashaw. Is it not enough evidence that someone that was a senator, one-time senator, and a governor of a state that has become a country of its own, he made that state became a country of its own, build a structure of democracy that every 2 years you have a local government elections where there is none in this country. I don't see any state in the last 10, 15 years that conducts itself democratically to go for an election of local government every 2 years. Like the way of it. You want to ask me a question that such a person, you have a doubt that he has the ability to read and write.
Did you go to primary school?
Yes, I did.
Which primary school is this?
West Coast Primary School, Kano.
Do you have the certificate?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about.
Okay, let me tell you something. The certificate of my primary. Hold on. The certificate of my primary. Hold on. Hold on now. My primary certificate, my secondary certificate, my university certificate hadn't helped me in what I'm doing today.
That is not the issue.
It is the issue.
Not the issue.
We're talking about evidence.
It doesn't give capacity. Hold on, show. It doesn't reach out capacity to deliver on a job given to you.
It's a moral and emotional matter.
It's not in the document.
We're not talking about capacity.
As prescribed.
Show. We employ an entrepreneur. I employ people that are best of me. I employ people that are first class graduates. And I have to teach them the job. When you came out from school, you read arts and visual arts. When you came here, were you not taught how to do this? It's your passion, you do that. There are a lot of people in this place that did not read mass comm, but they are very good journalists.
But I show evidence.
Very good anchors.
I showed evidence that I finished from school. So it's a basic minimum for you to get into this organization.
He has shown evidence that he had a BSc in Chicago State University.
But we're asking,
they don't have the proof that Chicago State University.
Where is the primary school certificate? Where is the secondary school?
Boy, this constitution shows one. You can show one. Some people show primary school. Some people show secondary school.
Mr. Kalu, is that enough?
There are people that are stand in this country. Mr. Kalu, there are people that are stand in this country. They are stand in this country. They've not been to primary school.
Assign time to us so that I can respond.
Go ahead. I'm asking, is it enough? You are the lawyer.
It's not enough.
You have seen a man that has delivered to Nigeria. You have seen a man that has delivered to Nigeria dividend of democracy.
Allow me to talk.
I gave you almost 10 minutes. No. Program. I allowed him to say all he wanted to say, and show you want to go back to him. I haven't finished. I gave him time to finish. Let me also learn. Because they don't have anything in hand to the campaign Ashwaju.
Alwan, hold on. There's a fundamental question here.
The fundamental question here
is a BSc Chicago State University sufficient?
It's not. The question is,
just imagine.
Hold on.
You read the Constitution that it is a school sat. It's Chicago State University BSc.
So we call him to order.
Just remember.
Sorry, call him to order.
Go ahead and land on that thought.
The issue here is, has Tinubu or did Tinubu at any time present a forged certificate to INEC? That is the issue.
And what
can we have your evidence that he did? Show us now.
So everybody in Nigeria.
Is there an evidence that Tinubu
very
forged?
well.
Where is it? Show us in your phone.
Please allow me.
Okay.
It's everywhere.
What is everywhere now?
Tinubu in 1999 presented to INEC that he attended St. Paul's Primary School. The evidence is there for Nigerians. So,
has he submitted it now?
Hold on. The question is, you are disqualified if you have submitted.
Let's see the evidence now.
You're submitting that he perjured himself.
Not perjury. That one is an issue. That one is a different issue altogether. Okay. The issue is the Constitution said all this. The Constitution says you are not qualified. Section 1371J, that a person is not qualified to run for office of president if he has submitted forged certificates to INEC. The question now is, Tinubu in 1999, Tinubu in 2003, Tinubu in 2003 submitted forged certificates to INEC. What are the forged certificates? One, Tinubu deposed on oath that he attended one St. Paul's Primary School, which is false. Two, Tinubu submitted to INEC that he attended government college in Ibadan, which is false.
He has said this thing again now.
Three,
you understand? You're saying
please
this so
allow
times.
me.
Allow you what now? You've said it before.
Tinubu submitted NYSC certificates to INEC that his name is Adekunle in 2003 and 2023. The question is, are these documents forged? If these documents are forged, are you
asking a question or you went to court to verify?
No, that is not an issue.
Just a moment. Before I
have a judgment of the court, bring it out now.
Mr. Kalu.
The Constitution says that this Constitution is supreme and is binding on all authorities.
Mr.
And if the Constitution says...
And the Constitution has it that Asiwaju lied.
Just a moment.
The documents are there.
Gentlemen.
In the Constitution.
Gentlemen.
Okay, let Tinubu come out and tell Nigerians the primary school he attended and secondary school he attended.
I told you,
Mr. Kalu, just a moment. Let me ask you. Just before I come to you.
Let's talk about issues.
Mr. Kalu, gentlemen, please.
The primary school you attended.
This is supposed to be a conversation, civil conversation.
I have told you, I'm telling you that it has not helped me in my business.
Just a moment.
It doesn't give capacity now.
Just gentlemen. Hello, Mr. Kalu. Mr. Kalu.
Are we running a banana republic?
Mr. Kalu.
The Constitution is very clear. If you have forged, Tinubu has
so bring
forged.
evidence and go to court now.
What evidence are we talking about?
So go to court and say the Constitution has
already said if you forge, you're not qualified. It is for INEC to make sure that
so right to INEC now.
Gentlemen, let's have a civil conversation. Let's have a civil conversation. As a lawyer, let me ask you, and he asked the question, and I'm coming to you just in a moment. He said, who are Atiku's relatives? You not answer those questions.
You mean Atiku's relatives? These are not relevant issues here.
So, but you said he added Adekunle now.
Just a moment.
You went personal with
Hold on. Let's have a civil conversation.
We are talking about what the law says in respect of Tinubu's eligibility to run this election.
But you had said he added Adekunle. You didn't want to know.
Can we please, Jonah, we can hear ourselves out. Go ahead.
The law is talking about submission of forged documents.
Okay.
Our case, which all Nigerians know, is that Tinubu forged his primary school certificate.
No.
Tinubu forged secondary school certificate. That is why today those columns are vacant.
So now, finally, before I come to you, the question is that as it stands today, with all of the submissions that you have, can Atiku take into court over this matter as a fellow candidate?
Okay. The issue is not whether Atiku will take him to court or not take him to court. The issue is
established that INEC may not be able to verify. It is for Nigerian people to verify. INEC is supposed to display what has been. The verification is not within INEC's prerogative.
No. When we talk about...
Can INEC disqualify Bola Tinubu based on the facts that you have presented?
Sure, INEC can.
All right. That's the point. Your final thought tonight.
Asiwaju couldn't have ever lied with a foreign certificate as a BSc. If the Chicago University he claims to be forged is forged, can we have the evidence? Can they write to the university to now give them in writing that this certificate that Tinubu is presenting to Nigerians is forged? They've done it before, and if you remember, Omokiri went and wrote, and the school said it's genuine.
It's not, did it say so?
Gentlemen.
Yes, the school said,
Gentlemen.
The school said this certificate we have here was not issued by the school.
We are totally out of time.
Can we have the evidence?
And Mr. Alwan Hassan, thank you so much, gentlemen.
This certificate was not issued
by our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for
watching. So can we have the evidence? Let me see.
God bless you.
You don't have it, but that is what the school said.